All right. Good evening, everybody. I am your host, Sunshine Fullenwider, and I am the CEO and founder of Market Her Brand. We are a women global organization that's made up of women entrepreneurs. We're focused on elevating, educating, and equipping women in business where they can be able to share their product and their services and impact so many people's lives while doing it. That being said, we've been an organization since 2016 and it's 2026. I'm 5, and we're super excited about all the things that we are just doing and we're going to keep doing. That being said, we currently have our tour going on right now, which is 100 Women in Business Tour. I mean, this is a phenomenal tour that's made up of so many different entrepreneur women globally, all over the world, coming together to be able to just empower, elevate, and educate a lot of women in business and in life. So what I'm saying is that if you're not plugged in, then you want to plug in. One of the good ways to plug in is by going to our website, marketherbrand.com, to keep track of all the things that we're doing. Also, there's a Market Her Brand Facebook page. This will allow you to interact with a lot of the women. They're on the platform, they're speaking, they're sharing about their business, their passion. So you can be able to plug in with whichever speaker actually resonates with you and be able to solve the problems you have, but also be able to grow and expand your business to the next level because we all want to win. And so this is the organization where we really feel like we're all winners together. So without further ado, I am super excited to bring on I would say our seasoned speaker because Stephanie, I've just known her for a minute now. You're talking about powerful dynamite business boss lady. I mean, she's showing up on social media every single day. Tired, doesn't even matter what. She comes with her best. You know what I'm saying? You know, ladies, what I'm talking about. That'd be hard to do. But she's about her business. And most of all, she's about helping people to really utilize the tools that she has to get to the next level. So what I'm trying to say, this is a note-taking opportunity. So get your pen, your paper, your notepads, whatever you got, take the notes, but take the next step. Reach out to her after the broadcast and be able to tell her, what did you take away? What questions do you have? And how can she be able to utilize what she does to be able to help you get to the next level? Well, without further ado, I'm going to give the mic over to Stephanie while she shares, give you a little bit about herself, give you a little bit about topic, and then she'll go right into it. Stephanie, you can, I just gave you the mic.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Sunshine, for having me this evening. Again, I am Stephanie Randall. I am founder and CEO of Ignite Change. I am a business strategist and mindset coach who works with women who are ready to rise to reclaim their unshakable voice, their confidence, embrace their unique talents, and speak with a voice that is heard and also respected. This evening, we're going to be talking about unleashing your power. This journey is going to be transformative. It's going to help you understand and recognize self doubt, where it comes from, and give you some practical ways that you can help rebuild your confidence using some tools. So let's jump right in. And I have a question for you. Get your paper and pencil, like Sunshine said. Answer this question. What do you want to reclaim from this session today? What do you want to reclaim from this session? Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to understand where the roots of the self-doubt comes from. So just let me give you a quick little story. So many of you don't know my background is in IT. And so I was on a huge project, lead system engineer, and I called a meeting and, I sent out some emails to various organizations and partners. And the meetings that day, and I'm sitting in this huge conference room, long table, and I'm noticing as people are trickling in, really it's just a bunch of men coming in. and I'm the only woman sitting at this huge table. So I'm like, okay. A young man sits in front of me and leans over and says, "Hey, are you the secretary? You're going to be taking notes for this meeting?" And I sat back in my chair. Not that there's anything wrong with being a secretary, but it was the fact that that's the only way he could see me. And it made my inner voice sort of start talking to me. See, they don't see you that way. And start saying certain things to me. And I had to grab myself, sit back up and go, no, I'm Stephanie Randall. I'm the lead system engineer for this effort. And once I said that, he sat back and said, oh, I'm so sorry. But in that moment, self doubt just popped up. Self doubt doesn't appear overnight. It comes from, societal conditioning, critical voices from our past that make us question our worth. Sometimes it comes from even us wanting to be less assertive and more and wanting to be liked. Or maybe when we're in those boardrooms and we're, raising our hand, we got a great idea. They don't call on us. They overlook us. Maybe they even dismiss what we say. And then lastly, it's that internal voice. We all have them that tell us certain things our about our abilities, our values, our worth. So question for you, what experience first made you question your worth? I'm sure you remember that experience because I'm sure it stuck with you. Does anybody want to put that in the chat, an experience, or even raise your hand and maybe come on mic and speak for a few seconds? Okay, we will move on then. We have some shy people here this evening. So one of the tools we're going to talk about this evening is the Confidence Reboot Framework. It has 3 steps to it. The first thing you're going to do, you want to notice the narrative. What are you telling yourself about your abilities, about your worth? 2, you want to name the root. Where is this belief that you're having? Where is it coming from? Is it some type of critical comment that you heard or some type of challenging experience? Because once we understand the source, we can diminish its power. And then lastly, we want to reclaim the power. We want to replace that limiting belief with something that becomes our empowering truth that aligns with who we're becoming. So now let's reframe our limiting beliefs. Think of a limiting belief that you currently have. Maybe you say, I'm not good enough. Maybe you say, every time I'm working on something, I mess it up when it truly matters. That's the first part. We want to think of that self-limiting belief, but we just want to think about it with curiosity. We don't want to judge it. Just think about it with curiosity. The second part is we're going to apply 3 steps to it. We're going to notice that limiting belief. Like I said before, just acknowledge it, no judgment. We want to think about where did it come from? And then we want to rewrite it so that it becomes an empowering truth. And then the third piece is you have your new truth. You have your new truth. Before, if you said, I'm not good enough, it becomes, I am enough as I am. We have to reframe these beliefs because if we don't, those beliefs stay within us and it keeps us from moving forward. It keeps us from reaching our goals. It keeps us from reaching our aspirations. So we definitely want to reframe them. Now, the second practice we're going to talk about is the confidence anchor. It's something that you're going to do every day for 60 seconds to rebuild your trust in yourself. We're going to start with a morning mantra. Begin your day with a morning mantra that you feel connected to. That's going to set the tone for your day. You're going to take that mantra, you're going to say it to yourself. You're going to stand in the mirror and say it to yourself. You're going to connect with your eyes and say it to yourself so it stays with you throughout the day. And then we're going to do a power posture. We're going to stand tall, put our shoulders back, put our hands on our heart, and we're going to take some deep breaths for 1 minute. Your body teaches your mind what confidence feels like when you do this. And then we want to align an action. We want to take one small action that honors our worth and aligns with our values. Maybe it's you setting a boundary in place or speaking up in a meeting, or maybe even doing something that you enjoy. Align that action. Because confidence grows through consistent, authentic choices. So I want us to do one of these actions right now. We're going to do the power posture. So wherever you are, I want you to stand up, put your shoulders back, put your hand on your heart, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. And I'll count us. So we want to inhale and bring in that new energy, and we just want to hold it for 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then just let it out. Just blow it out. And let's do that again. You want to inhale that new energy. You just want to hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just blow it out. And then one more time, we want to inhale that new energy again and hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go. Right now, you should be feeling something physically different in your body. Maybe you feel calm. Maybe you feel more confident. Maybe you feel determined. But doing that power posture every day helps build your confidence. Now, let's talk about how we can integrate and be committed to these practices. You want to use that confidence anchor and that 3-step framework every day. That small, consistent actions create lasting transformation. I want you to remember this phrase. Confidence isn't loud, it is rooted. So your quiet strength changes everything. If you take these practices that we've gone over this evening, the confidence reboot framework, the confidence anchor, and every day, starting with some type of daily practice where you get up and you go, hey, I'm going to start with my mantra. That's going to set the tone for the day. And then whenever I get into a problem with maybe you have a setback or you feel rejected, you want to do that 3-step confidence reboot framework. And then lastly, tell your community, your friends and your family, and tell them about your journey with confidence, how it's growing. They may want to jump on that journey along with you. If you keep doing that every day, your confidence will grow. And when your confidence grows, you become a better leader. You become a better business person. so that you can help those people that God has targeted you to help through your services and through your products. Thank you for your time this evening. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up?
Um, I wanted to interject from looking at some of the comments on my end. A lot of the women could relate to the topic. You know, one woman said that due to lack of confidence, has kept her from being able to excel in her business. You know, and it was due to stemming from when she was a kid. You know, and I would like to know how would you respond to that? You know, because this is something that, has started when she was young and now she's grown, has a great business, but she cannot shine bright in it.
So, what I would recommend for her to do is one, get you a coach, get you a life coach. I think sometimes people don't realize that life coaching and business, it goes together. Why? Because just like she's saying, something happened to her as a kid that made her less confident. And even though she has her own business, I bet her light could shine more brightly if she was more confident. Because sometimes when you're not confident, what do? You shrink. You're not being seen. You're not stepping out in front. You have to do those things if you want to be a really successful business owner. And that's not easy to do, but if you invest the time, you can do that.
One of the other women in that comment, she's saying, what's the difference between confidence and courage? And how do you know the difference?
I think confidence is how you present yourself, how you walk in the room. Sometimes when you see people walk in the room, you're like, wow, they're so confident. Because it's something about them. It's that air that they carry. But courage is saying, even though these things, these barriers are in place, I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm not going to let anything stop me. I keep going one step, one foot in front of the other. That's courage.
Mhm. Um, I'm just curious. One of the women was saying, how do they actually get the process? You know, when you say hire a coach, how do they identify which, like if they were to do a coaching session with you, how soon would they see actually results?
So it probably depends on what their issue is. I coach people from people who don't have businesses at all, they're just starting, to people who have businesses and they want to grow. So what we would do is the first session would be a strategized session where we would come up with a strategy to get you to where you wanted to go. Everybody's business is different. Everybody has issues or concerns they want to work on. So there's no set time frame because I don't have enough information to tell you what would be needed.
Yeah, I totally understand. I think coaching goes hand in hand, not just for the person that is being coached, but also the coach itself, just because,
Mhm.
it takes time for people to apply and to be able to adjust and then to be able to, grow. And so that's why I totally understand why you said what you said. But yeah, still, we understand how important confidence is in the marketplace. And so, that being said, because we're dealing with a lot of women that do have business, what ways can people show up in a confident way for their business without always being in the front?
You can through that, you can show up confidently. Let me go back to what the statement that you just made about coaching. One of the things I want people to understand is coaching is a partnership. I am on this journey with you to help you to get to where you want to go. It's a partnership. We work together. Okay, so let me answer your question. Sorry.
No, I love it. I love what you said because it's important you have the right coach, the right chemistry, because it's going to determine whether or not you're going to apply what you're learning or what you're taking. So I totally agree with you. It has to align.
So your last question was I think you said how do people show up confidently? Is that what you
Yeah,
asked?
because confidence can take on different forms.
Yes.
Um,
Hmm.
sometimes it's not always in the front. Sometimes it's in the back, that people lead.
Hmm.
The only reason why I say that is just because, I feel like being in the front, although it's important, and in a day it's important when it's supposed to be timing. Timing is important, because there's some business owners or beginners and they are still trying to learn their own business, let alone trying to lead their business.
Yes. Yep. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. Um, like you said, you can lead in different ways. So leading might not necessarily always be in the front, but I can lead by how I brand my company. I can lead how I communicate with you. Those are different ways of leading, but I don't have to necessarily say I'm leading. But you can tell by the way I'm speaking or my my what I want to call it my
Pastor.
oh, yeah,
Mhm,
how I'm leading.
mhm,
So people can lead quietly or they can lead loudly. But the point that I want to make is you still have to lead because as a
mm,
business owner, there's going to be people who work for you, employees. You have to lead them. So you have to show up as a leader. And that's not always easy. But if that's something that is important to you, if you don't have the confidence to lead, if you're not using your voice to lead, if you're not using the talents that God has given you to work through your company, then those are the things you want to work on.
mm.
Because the one thing about owning a business is what is your goal and aspiration? You're out here to help people, right? Whether it's a service or product, you're out here to help people. And a lot of times I think business owners only focus on the profit and they don't focus on the underlying things that help you be have a good company, help you be a good leader, help you to lead properly, help you communicate well. They don't focus on those things. They're only interested in the profit.
Hmm. I like what you said because it's important, I think, as business owners, self evaluation and to work on your weaknesses. And, it's easy to make excuses because it keeps you staying the same. And it's easy to blame, everything else for your business not growing and expanding. And you're totally right. When you start a company or a business, that's your vision, that's your dream. Nobody
Mhm.
knows the formula, no matter how much you tell them. So I like when you said you have to lead those people, they're helping you or working on the employees or whatever. So that way they can grab the piece of the vision that's necessary for them to grab. So that way they can function in the direction of the overall vision of whatever your business is looking to accomplish. So I like when you stated that point. And I think, that's where it comes to like business partners. You don't have to be everything because your personality type may not be there yet. And that's perfectly fine. There's some people that are just not salespeople for their business. Some people don't like networking. You got a great vision, but you're not the one necessarily able to carry it out. And this is where, again, you got to identify your weaknesses be able to connect, collaborate, partner, and network with other people that may have strengths that you may not have at the time while you're working on it. So that way your business does not suffer. And
That
sometimes, go ahead.
no, I was just going to agree with you. That is such a great point because I think for those of us who are in business, and maybe it's just you right now. Sometimes we don't understand that we do need other people to help us along the journey through partnerships or JVs, or you need to collaborate. Maybe you see someone that has a service that you could use for your company. Y'all get together and do something together where it is, you do a broadcast together, podcast or something together. Work together because you both can grow. You both can get your product or service out there and support each other. And I think for women, we need to do more of that. I think the Good Old Boys Network, sometimes they're all about that. And we haven't grasped that quite yet to, hey, let's work together. We can all benefit from us collaborating and be in partnership.
Yeah, correct. I think, I remember back when I started in business, and going out here and, the first things you're looking, people are doing this, doing that. And you feel like, oh, wow, I need to, figure how to navigate this. But I think one thing you got to realize as small business owners that the environment of entrepreneurship is forever evolving and you're forever learning. The quicker you get started in the process, the further along you'll be, because it takes time. Sure, it takes a lifetime to grow a business, if you're going to have it sustain a business and have it grow over time. So that being said, when it comes to skills that you may be acquiring, I think don't stop working your business. Don't stop showing up. Whether it's in the back, side, front line, it doesn't matter. Don't stop showing up because people notice effort, no matter how small it is. I'll let you take it from there.
I totally agree with you, Sunshine. The only thing I want to add to that is, sometimes I work with clients who are hiding. They have a business, they have a service and product, but they're hiding. They're not out making those connections. They're not out selling themselves. They're not trying to be seen in a sense, but they still want to have a business and grow it, but they're not being seen. They're not being heard. So the advice I would just offer is stop hiding. This business that you started it for a reason. You started it because you wanted to serve a certain target audience. You started it because you had this great product. You started it because you had this passion that you invested in some service. You started your company for a reason. So remember that since you did start it, you thought it was important, there's no reason to be hiding. You have to be seen and heard so you can move forward, so you can grow.
I love what you said, and this might be my last point, but this is such a great topic, and it's such a necessary topic because a lot of time what keeps businesses from growing is just the mere fact of them showing up on a daily, consistent basis. Because one thing I realized about business, it grows over time, and you grow over time because business is like a relationship. Just like you're having to get to know your business has to get to know you, and then you got to know each other so that way you'll know exactly how to be able to grow together. And there's time you might feel tired, but your business is ready to grow and go. And sometimes your business can suppress you. And I've seen that happen even when I started the organization. It grew much faster than where I was at. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do at this time? I'm not equipped to really even handle this much growth. But yet still, when you're not equipped and when you're not willing to go out and get, the help, because sometimes you don't know what you need, you wind up pausing. So my main point I'm saying is mindset. A lot of times I think you touched on in your broadcast. How, if you thought about that, like you said, you got your business is there to help other people, to make an impact in other people's lives. And when you think about yourself, it's easy for you to be focused on what you're good at, what you're not good at, and make all these stumbling blocks to keep you from going. I'm going to let you take it from there.
Yeah, it was one of the things that I find when I've worked with business owners. It is not that they didn't have a great strategy. It wasn't that they didn't have great products or services. It was their mindset. And so for us to move forward, we had to do some tweaks to their mindset and get them thinking differently before we could move on to maybe the other obstacles that maybe they had in maybe their processes or operation or what have you. It was their mindset. And people don't understand that whenever you have these limiting beliefs that you're hearing every day and you're not reframing them, you start believing them. You start thinking, I'm not good enough to be a leader. I always make mistakes. You start believing that narrative, and before you know it, you have an opportunity for a deal or something. And while you're sitting at the table, you're telling yourself, well, why do they want to sign with me? My service is not all that. Like that person over there has better service. You start telling yourself that more and more. The more you hear it, the more you believe it, the more you keep yourself stuck and you can't move forward. So the mindset plays a big part in being, having a great business, because you got to start with your mind first. Oh, we can't hear you, Sunshine.
Thank you, hon. I love what you said. I think as business owners starting out, one thing I would recommend is don't ask for other people's opinion, especially
Mm,
so you're rooted and grounded. I'll let you take that,
yeah.
girl.
Yeah, because what's important is what you want to do, the talents you've been given, the vision that you have. These are your things. So, like you said, having that choir on the side saying, "Well, why would you want to start a business doing that? Why are you listening to them?" If God has laid on your heart something to do, go do it. He gives all of us certain talents, and He expects us to use them. So go do it. Go meet that goal that you have. Go meet that aspiration. Go build this company. Invest in yourself. Take the first step.
Oh, yeah, this topic is so good. We might have to come back for a part two. There you go. Guess these businesses making money and getting out in front of their business, and when you notice, someone that has a talent that you may want, it's good to admire them. But successful people love empowering other people all
Yes.
day. Although, like they love to talk to you, to give you tools, and then to get to where they're at, or even suppress them. And
Mhm.
that's how you can tell if someone's successful. And that being said, because here in Market Her Brand, that's why we've had a lot of women been here for years. We keep a positive atmosphere. We're all in it to win. We're all in it to empower, encourage one another. We even grow together. I don't know if y'all see, but when we doing these flyers, we all grow together. When you can go to any one of our pages and you can see we are very in line, how we think and move, and that's so important, because who you have in your business when you're growing your business has an impact on you as a business owner as well. Stephanie, I think you want to say something.
I'm sorry, I'm very talkative. I just want to say one last thing.
Okay.
If no one else believes in you, believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities. Believe in your value and your worth. Believe in yourself. Don't give up. Keep going. Even when you wake up some mornings, you're like, I just don't want to get up out this bed because I know I have fires to put out, employees to talk to. I got this deal over here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to sign on a dotted line. Keep going. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your aspirations. And also, while you're doing all those things, plant some seeds along the way. You have some friends who are starting businesses and you know they're struggling a little bit. Give them a little bit of encouragement. Plant a seed. Plant a seed with someone else. I'm through talking, sunshine. Sorry.
It's such a powerful topic. We will do a part two. Hopefully, Coach Stephanie will be willing to come back up here and give us a little bit more. Because if we could break this hurdle, because everybody's confidence levels in different levels, and it's perfectly fine the level that you're at, But again, our goal is to get all of us at that top level, so that way we can consistently show up at the best version of ourselves, which is possible, of course. So
Absolutely.
that being said, this is a network organization to do that. Connect with any of the coaches that you see on the platform. They really genuinely care about you winning, period. We're a Christian organization and we put God first. And I'm just saying, with God, you can't lose, period.
Right.
And it's okay to be you. I think sometimes you always feel like you have to change who you are to be successful. In the day and time we live in, people love you being authentic. Don't destroy your brand in the process, but still bring the best version of yourself, and that requires you to work out. Some of the routines. I just want to ask one last question, because confidence does come about, but sometimes it's not how you show up in your business. It's what you do before you show up in your business. So what's your routine? This is my last question. What is your routine like on a daily basis
Mhm.
before you show up for your business?
So every morning I meditate. Have to get my meditation in. Of course, I pray, but I also journal. And I also, this is a little probably crazy, a little bit too much information. But when I'm in the shower, I sort of lay out my day, what I need to do, what needs to happen, who I need to talk to. So then when I get ready to go to the office, I already know what I need to take care of. You have to figure out what works for you. Like I know some people like to exercise in the morning. I don't get a chance to do that. But exercising, meditating, praying, journaling, whatever works for you to put you on the right path. So as you head out the door and you're going to your office, you're ready to fight the world, do that.
I love it. I love it. The reason why is because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So sometimes learning to pick one thing in your life or in your business to be consistent with is going to help you to start being a little bit more consistent in the things that you want to see actually grow or get better in your life. And, a lot of things you hear from a lot of us entrepreneurs is because we had to face it and then we had to deal with it and we had to work on it in order to grow, because it's truly a growth process. So I know y'all are loving this. I know I'm loving this. And we are definitely going to hopefully have a part two. Please, can you share with them again your website, the social media handles on how they can get connected with you?
Okay. My website is ignitechangenow.com. You can also reach me by IG, and my handle is ignitechange_now. And my phone number is 410 404 0687. And Sunshine, I also put a link in the chat to you if people want to reach out and just set up a discovery session with me so we can strategize how they go to the next level. We can do that as well.
Awesome. Well, we posted on social media, so you can also put in that comment too, so that way people can plug in that way as well, especially the women in the network organization. And we thank all those that came onto the broadcast. Those are going to listen later as entrepreneurs. I know we be busy, but as you're listening to it, we just want to let you know that you matter. We are praying for your growth, where you're at. I'm just saying, like, there's something great in all of us, and we really can expand and grow. And within this organization, there's so many different women entrepreneurs, coaches that really want to see you expand. Coach Stephanie shows up, send her a friend request, and DM her, bug her. Be like, I need help. I need help. Don't be so focused on where you're at and what you have to ask for help. We're women. And that
Yes.
means that, when someone sees value in you, they're willing to invest in you. And in return, you'll be willing to grow, and you'll be able to sooner or later invest in yourself at the level you deserve to, expand and grow. So that being said, that is all I have for today. Before I end the broadcast, do you have any last thing you want to say?
The only thing I want to say is just thank you, Sunshine, for allowing me to come back. I think this is my fourth time. I love it. Thank you for having me.
We love having you, and we excited, of all the opportunities we're going to continue to hopefully connect and network and expand. So that being said, everybody have a great night, and hopefully you'll come back here at 8 o'clock as we have another one of our awesome entrepreneurs that's going to come on here and definitely give you a lot of value. So don't go put that notepad, pencil, and all that away, because we got more for you tonight. Again, thank you, Coach Stephanie, and we look forward to having you back again. Have a great
Good
night.
night.